yeah, seeding kind of worked out the way it did here. And hey, we're under.
And they both start from Dark Link's house, and just picking up some arrows and immediately going over to the chapel. But yeah, the interesting thing about Pretty Wong's situation is he was the only player to reach brackets via a tiebreaker. Oh, we have our first map check there. I saw a lot of crystals. There was a 5-6 in Thieves Town. I saw regular blue crystals in Turtle Rock and Pod and Skullwoods, and I didn't get a chance to look at the bottom.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Our tracker's saying
I
all
didn't really
crystals.
Yep. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Shout outs to our tracker Nif Boy today. Thank you for clicking those buttons behind the scenes for us, man. So
And both runners heading to Skullwoods now.
yeah, pretty common kind of starting point for an inverted seed because you can get the bomb drops here from, or at least the bomb pickups from underneath the skull pots here.
And fortunately, once you're in, if you get killed, save and continue really isn't a bad thing. But I was just going to say regarding Pretty Wong, his group was a tough group. The top players had 12 wins, 10 wins, 10 wins, and 8 wins. So there were a lot of really strong players in that group. So he's lucky to have made it in on his tiebreaker match.
Yeah, no kidding. And yeah, so yeah, the only tiebreaker that came out of the group stage there, because there was a lot of us kind of heading in that direction, and it didn't really work out. But yeah, Pretty Wong and I am Schwartz going in to a tiebreaker for this group. Very cool.
Yeah, there were a number of other groups that could have gone to a tiebreaker right up until the very last game, and then they had last games that if they had gone the other way would have resulted in a tiebreak.
So both our runners opting to go a little further into Skullwoods here, just to get this one chest here. We're looking at, oh hey, the Moon Pearl.
That was a worthwhile chest to take the trouble to go to. So we will not be seeing much of Mario or Shy Guy's bunny forms tonight.
Yeah, sometimes in an inverted seed, you spend a lot of time in the light world in the bunny form trying to navigate the world. Hey, Hammer. Okay, we're finding things here.
Yeah, Hype Cave is back to its hype state. So you might notice all those blue rupees in Hype Cave as well, and that's one of the things about Expert Mode. 10 full heart containers and 4 pieces of heart were removed, and they were all replaced by blue rupees. So there are going to be a lot of blue rupees in here. Half magic as well for that.
All right, so Pretty Wong going into Swamp here just for the hint for now. Boots requires the bow. Okay, interesting.
Which means necessarily the boots are on Helmasaur because that is the only location that is bow locked in all modes.
Yes. Okay, so Thalane finds Ether here on the pyramid ledge. Gonna pick this up. Not sure if we're gonna need it to get into Misery Mire or Turtle Rock yet, but it's always good to have a medallion in hand.
And at inverted, we might not even need a medallion to get into Turtle Rock, period.
That's true, yeah.
One of the fun things about Inverted, there are some Dark World locations that are quite a bit easier to get into, and some Light World locations that are quite a bit harder.
Yeah, it's a nice shakeup for a lot of the kind of changes a couple of like the standard routing practices in the game. So it's a couple little tweaks. Hey, a glove in the chest game here. Nice. So I mean that's our light world access already, which is fantastic.
And we even have a pretty good weapon to kill enemies while we're... Ooh, and as I say that, prdwong takes a death.
Yeah, this is expert mode. Heart pieces are going to be few and far between, and there's going to be no mail upgrades at all. We're going green mail all the way here.
Yeah, so for other subbed out items, those mail upgrades have been turned into red rupees. The sword upgrades have been turned into, I believe, special 20 green rupee boxes because this is swordless.
Yes.
And additionally, while there are 3 shield upgrades, you can only collect one of them, and as soon as you've collected that one, the other 2 will turn into red rupees.
All right, so we're seeing some early diversions here. prdwong with the light world access is choosing to make use of that and checking out some of the kind of more item dense locations in the light world. Thalane going for Thieves Town instead. I mean, why not? It's a dungeon you can complete. Taking a death warp. Okay, so maybe he's going to back out at this point.
Yeah, blind can be kind of tough with a hammer and 3 hearts.
Yeah, not always
And
fun times.
flippers! This seed is handing out a lot of items that we sometimes have to go searching for.
Yeah, it's nice early on to have a lot of checks to do. You don't want the seed to maybe be too free, but you know, it's still nice to have a lot of options, you know, where you can go next.
That was a really fast map check. Did you see where the green pendant was?
Nope. Ooh, looks like Nif Boy was on it there. Looks like Eastern Palace is our green pen.
I wonder if blue and red are vanilla too, just for good measure. If so, Skull Woods being a 5/6 crystal and Mire not being a 5/6 crystal is the only non-vanillaness of dungeon rewards.
So here's one of those small changes in inverted mode. The graveyard ledge is now just accessible by a little ladder that's been installed.
And it's sending us a fetch quest message tonight.
Interesting.
And Thalane's gonna show us what's in Lumberjack. Actually, prdwong went in there, but it was the same time as Thalane's map check, so I was trying too hard to catch that.
Uh-huh. Find the powder in back of escape here for prdwong.
We're racking up the fetch quests today.
Yeah.
It's funny, there have been so many key sanity seeds so far in brackets that whenever our runners pick up a key, my first thought is, but why isn't it telling us what dungeon it is?
Yeah, right?
Fortunately, the tournament is not allowing inverted to be mixed with key sanity.
Yeah, it's probably a pretty reasonable mode to run, but it just seemed it was a little inverted was a little too new when we started this tournament off that we didn't want to mix it with too much else. Alrighty, so we got the Quake medallion hanging out in Blind's hut there. Wow, there's our one heart container for expert mode. Alrighty, so prdwong continuing these light world Kakariko checks. Thalane probably going to be following close behind here.
It's always nice when you can do Magic Bat while you're in your first check of Kakariko.
Yeah, that is not often something that you can do. Just some couch
Lots
cash
and
here.
lots of blue rupees.
Yeah. Like the fire rod there. Or I'm not exactly sure. On our restream, it's a little the quality is a little lower. Let's take a look at the actual
Yeah, looked like fire to me, but the colors have been weird lately.
Maybe we'll get a menu check to confirm that. Alrighty, prdwong heading over to Magic Bat. Let's see in the menu here. It was the ice rod. Oh, Nif Boy is on it today. Yeah, so there's that 20 rupee there that it shows us where a sword would have been. Is that right? Yeah, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, it shows up as a green rupee with a 20.
Yeah, yeah. But this being a swordless seed, we're not going to see any at all, unfortunately. Looks like the library had another of those phantom swords there. Ooh, and some big money there at the race there. prdwong's going to skip out on that. Hopefully, we don't have to go to Zora anytime because he's kind of hurting for rupees at this point. Getting a shovel check in here. Another bloopy. Oh, So we're seeing from Ack there in chat, the 20 green rupee there can also be the male upgrades that we're not going to see here. So swords or males, interesting. All right, we're getting some South Shore here.
A fairly useless red boomerang. That's another one of those fun things about Expert, that the boomerangs don't stun. Neither does the hook shot.
Yeah, that's one of those changes in Hard and Expert that I didn't realize because I didn't play Hard or Expert too often. There are many occasions where I used a boomerang when I shouldn't have. Hey, Kane and Samaria hanging out in the water there.
Okay, that was a much clearer view of the map check, too. Cane of Samaria is nice because it's one of the lighter magic-using devices, and it's really hard to refill magic in Expert because bottles only refill a quarter of your magic instead of the usual all of it.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see our runners do everything they can to conserve their magic, their bombs, their arrows. These things are, a little harder to come by, and you definitely want to manage them well.
Now, because this is swordless, that bug net will actually potentially come in handy when they fight Aga. While it's slow, it has better range than the hammer, so it can be easier to fight Aga with the bug net than with the hammer.
Another small change with inverted mode here. We just saw Thalane check out Checkerboard Cave. Had the shield. We only can get up to Fighter Shield here, so it doesn't have anything. So Thalane opting to just leave it alone.
There's the flute under the bridge from the hobo. The flute is never required in an inverted seed, but it sure can make travel faster.
Yeah, definitely nice to have, so you can make your way around the map a little bit quicker.
Actually, theoretically, if the lamp's on Death Mountain, the flute's required by logic.
Yes, that could be your potential scenario for that. Yeah. Alrighty, so we got both canes and both boomerangs now. Gotta complete the set.
Thalane showing us the digging game. prdwong does not have Zora money, so he's not going to continue up this way. I guess Thalane figures if he's in the digging game anyway, he might as well dig up as much money as he can.
Yeah, I think so. Oh. That crab gave Purdy a run for his money there.
Yeah, with green mail and so few hearts, those crabs are always going to do 3 hearts of damage, so you need to be really careful around.
Alrighty, so Thalane is now doing the South Shore checks. And Purdy making use of the portal there to make his way over to Kakariko again. Gonna activate that flute.
Which is interesting in inverted mode because you can only actually use the flute in the Dark World once you've activated it.
Ooh, Thalane going with Ice Rod in the mini Moldorm cave there. Bit of a higher drain, but got through the room quicker, so, every second counts.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of magic. Even with him hitting each mini Moldorm with a single shot, he used up half his magic.
Yeah. So it seems like Thalane has been saving up just little bits of cash here and there before heading up to the Zora region. Wants to have enough money so that he can actually pay off the fish.
Now, it's unfortunate that prdwong is doing this archery game, which he's going to spend a while on, because unbeknownst to him, there's a 300 rupee chest in the front of Thieves' Town that Thalane found.
Yeah, and there was also the 300 at the race or the maze in the Light World that he skipped out on as well. So, but just needed a little bit more cash to do the archery, or sorry, the digging game here. All right, pretty well giving us our first look at the Meyer area here. We're going to take a look at the Meyer shed. Let me see what the medallion is to get in here. It's ether. Cool. Now that was on Pyramid Ledge, and Purdy does not have that, but Thalane does.
Yeah, and given the options for starting points after a save and quit, checking the pyramid is not an obvious location.
Mm-hmm. So Thalane just dipped into that little cave there to pick up a couple of rupees. Now he's got enough to pay off Zora, so heading over there next. Pretty good routing. If Zora has something, it's going to be a nice little advantage for Thalane. Still pretty short on cash. It's not going to be heading over to Zora anytime soon.
But he's now on Death Mountain, so he'll have plenty of chests to check up here. So, what do you think? A life lesson?
Probably. That seems likely.
Yep.
Oof.
And there's the bow on Spectacle Rock.
Cool. We need that for boots, so gonna want to pick that up if we. Let's see. Can't quite get at it yet, unfortunately.
So the portal on top of Turtle Rock is mitts-locked?
Oh yeah. It's no, it should be okay.
Okay, I couldn't
But
offhand
yeah,
remember. I know it's hammer-locked. Because you can walk up the back of Turtle Rock in this mode. So yes, if we save and quit and restore to the mountain cave, we can go over to Turtle Rock, then portal to the light world and get to Spectacle Rock that way.
meanwhile, Thalane, having done, a couple of checks here, we're up to 5 hearts now, feeling a little bit better about heading into Thieves Town, and pretty long right behind, although hasn't even looked at any of the chests yet, so not too far behind at this point.
Well, he's going to get his Zora money in a hurry if he really wants a life lesson.
Wow, these blobs not cooperating for Thalane here. That was a pretty annoying hellway there.
Okay, so we now know the purple chest's worthless.
So it's interesting that we've had pretty decent light world access early on, but hasn't really come up with anything that definitively kind of gives our runners some direction to go in. Hence, we're both back at Thieves Town here after having kind of explored what was available. None of our runners have checked out Hyrule Castle yet, front of Hyrule Castle. So there's that still. Could take a dip into a dungeon that we can't complete. So something like Palace of Darkness, maybe. But I think finishing a dungeon feels like the right thing to do at this point in the season.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there aren't too many dungeons they can go into. I mean, they've gone as far as they can in Skull Woods without the fire rod. They're... I guess if they have the right medallion, they could get into Turtle Rock. They're not getting into Mire without the hookshot or boots. So I think probably progression is going to wind up being going all the way around to fetch that bow on top of Spectacle Rock if they remember that they can use the Turtle Rock portal without needing the mitts. And if they can deal with getting by those Lionels with 5 hearts and green mail.
Yeah, that's no fun. So I can see why both runners are a little apprehensive about making that move.
Blind giving a very cheesy pun today.
So Elaine opting for some Samaria strats here, just to play it safe and kind of keep his distance, not wanting to get in there with hammer shots. Only two.
Oof.
Ooh.
And the problem with losing to blind is that the second fight isn't scripted.
Yeah, that feels bad for sure. Looks like going with Samaria though into this second round, I guess, will be okay. Just playing it safe again. Should work out all right this time around. I have faith that thalane will take care of business here.
Yeah, since he's actually coming in with full health this time, he should be a bit better off. I hope I didn't speak too soon.
Ooh,
There we go,
got him.
thalane.
Nice.
And prdwong right on his tail now.
Alrighty, nicely done by both runners here, taking out their first boss, picking up their first crystal in this all dungeon seed here. Nice work. Looks like thalane is heading into the light world. He hasn't activated his flute yet, so he's probably going to be doing that right now. He's got the bottle, so he'll also be able to check Sick Kid. I don't know if prdwong checked Sick Kid yet.
I wonder if prdwong's going over to check the shovel spot. I don't think he checked that yet. Oh no, he's going to check the front of escape.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, nice. Thalane's selling the bee to the bottle vendor for 100 rupees. That is something you don't see too often.
Well, I guess it gives him Kiki cash when the time comes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know what else he needs cash for at this point.
So Uncle had a whole lot of nothing there.
Likewise, Sick Kid. I mean, we just robbed his piggy bank again. How cruel can you get?
All right, now with that flute activated, thalane definitely taking advantage of it to check out some locations a little farther afield that prdwong has already taken a look at. More bees.
Those are pretty popular in expert mode, especially since you can't get a fairy in a bottle.
Yeah. Yep.
Then there's insane mode, where if you powder an anti-fairy, you get bees.
That's just mean. Like, why? Why would they do that?
So unless we find something in Zelda's cell, or they do the dark part of escape and find something there, this is going to be a total bust.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not really paying off for Purdy here. So he's setting up for a death warp here, so he's likely going to be taking a look in that one sewer chest.
Certainly makes sense, but I'm really thinking that our progression involves getting by those Lionels, going to the light world, and then, as long as Hera's not fire-locked, we have access to it, and we have the bow.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. I feel like neither runner has really wanted to head over to the eastern or pod area. We haven't looked in Sahasrah's closet yet, but it's because we've seen the bow here. At least Thalane has now seen the bow as well. You don't really want to head over that way.
And then once we have the bow, pod is full clearable, which will give us boots. Eastern is full clearable. The boots will make Meyer full clearable. So then really a lot of stuff opens up.
Yeah. We're pretty gonna have to be careful here. He's trying to find that chest there.
And only some hours for his trouble.
Now is he trying to death warp, but there's just nothing around him? Oh, there we go.
Oh wow, Thalane's gone back to Dark Death Mountain, so unless he's planning on just checking Spike Cave, I think he's going to try to get past the Lionels here.
Yeah, meanwhile, Purdy here looks like he's going to be heading over to, I want to say it's going to be Sahasrah's closet.
And Thalane makes it past the Lionels. You may have also noticed that Ganon's tower was already open, but that's because it's not actually Ganon's tower in inverted. It's Aga Tower.
Huh, okay, so the Super Bunny Cave was a whole lot of nothing for Thalane, and Sahasrah's closet, not coming up with anything decent for Purdy there. Ether Medallion for Turtle Rock here. This is kind of interesting. Thalane can kind of start taking a dive in here and see how far he gets.
Well, it depends if that compass chest has a key in it. Otherwise, he's not getting very far at all.
And actually, looking at the top of Turtle Rock there, both of those were MITS required rocks to pick up. So we need the MITS to get access to the light East Death Mountain.
Oh, okay, so they need to find the mitts or the hookshot before they can get the bow and actually start opening things up.
Yes.
And Thalane's locked out of Turtle Rock. Oh, there's the mirror! Okay, that changes things.
Yep, that's what we were looking for. Nice.
That'll open up Laser Bridge, for instance.
Yeah, Laser Bridge, that gets us our bow. So it's definitely the item we were looking for to kind of swing this seed into the next kind of phase, I guess.
So it may well be required double dip of Eastern Palace as well, unless the hookshot or the mitts are someplace that we could theoretically find them but haven't.
So Thalane fluted over to the eastern pod area. It seems like this decision was kind of like, oh, right, I've got escape. Maybe I should take a look in there first and then work my way back towards Sahasrara and Eastern Palace. So he's kind of doing the same checks that Purdy was doing a little earlier. So Purdy navigating a couple more dark rooms here. Just check out the last chest in Eastern Palace. It could be holding another item, so might as well knock it out while you're here. You know you gotta double dip this dungeon anyways, so might as well finish it off.
Yeah, and dark rooms like that are pretty old hat for runners playing at this level.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, just the compass. So there is an item hanging out on the Armos Knights, I would say. Okay, so pretty long heading maybe down to Swamp Palace. Is this what we're thinking he's doing?
Well, he does now have the mirror and flippers, so he can do the front, including the left side. He just can't get to the back without the hook shot.
Hmm. I mean, there's, this is a play that I'm kind of like lukewarm about here. Like this kind of it makes sense that you could is that there are items in Swamp Palace that you can access here, but I don't know. That mirror kind of was pointing me towards the bow, and then clearing out Pod and Eastern, kind of.
Yeah, with the mirror, I'd probably check Laser Bridge before I'd go to the trouble of doing half of Swamp.
Yeah, I guess it's the factoring in the climbing of the mountain itself, which is annoying, and all runners generally kind of hate having to climb the mountain multiple times. Um, this could be some galaxy brain stuff, and maybe we'll find the hookshot in here, and then Purdy will be able to finish off the dungeon in one shot.
That's true. Never rule out the vanilla or French vanilla hook shot.
Alrighty, so Thalane also heading into the dark sewers there to find the 10 arrows. Now, where is he going to go? Back to the eastern area? Yes, okay. Good job. Good.
Yeah, so he will hopefully be getting his mirror soon.
Yo. There it is. Purdy Wong. How do you do that, my man?
Okay, French vanilla it is.
That's
Now
pretty
the
awesome.
question is, do you come back? Oh, sorry.
Oh no, that's all I was gonna say was that was pretty awesome.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Do you come back and do left side after this?
Probably. You're still looking for quite a lot. And I mean, it is an all dungeon seed. Might as well, do as much as possible until go.
But yeah, I really hope Pretty Wong just goes and gets his bow after this.
Yeah.
Because we also have Paradox Cave to check and Hookshot Cave now. There are a ton of checks up on Death Mountain now with the Hookshot.
Yeah, and we've opened up Misery Mire, which isn't a huge draw, but oh hey, wow, Titansmiths. Okay, Swamp Palace is the play.
So we've basically now opened up everything that isn't fire-locked.
Yeah, pretty much. So it'll really kind of be interesting to see.
We're certainly gonna have
Ooh. I was just gonna say, it'll be really interesting to see what Thalane decides to do with that mirror. If he's thinking the same thing as Purdy, that Swamp Palace is the thing to do, then he's gonna keep this race pretty close. If he heads up to Death Mountain, could work out for him, but we don't really know where that might lead him at this point.
Yeah, no, Pretty Wong really guessed well here with Swamp, which goes to show why he is in brackets. And I was just gonna say that, yeah, they're gonna have to find that fire rod sooner or later. That's kinda the big next thing that they don't know.
Yeah, that and the lamp. Like, what is going on with that? It's pretty deep in the logic here.
Yeah. And it's interesting because we're so far out of logic at this point with all the places we've checked. I don't think we actually found anything in the dark rooms. The mirror was in the light part. So I'm not sure we've actually broken logic with any of the important items despite not having the lamp.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Yeah, it's all been within logic so far.
Yeah, we've broken logic plenty, we just haven't found anything useful by breaking logic.
All right. Okay. Hey, so Thalane looks like he's doing the Swamp Palace play as well here. This is good. Meanwhile, Purdy has shown us some new territory here. We have not seen East. Yeah, East Death Mountain.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I think we were thinking the exact same thing there. That we're seeing some East Death Mountain checks here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Top half of Paradox Cave here. Big 20s, some bombs, more bombs, 50 rupees. Okay, not a lot, unfortunately.
I mean, honestly, I figure even if they get nothing else up here besides the bow, it's worth the trip.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to pick up the bow at this point, for sure.
And then Hope Tower of Hera isn't firelocked.
Oh, there's our lamp hanging out on the floating island, no longer floating because of that wonderful bridge that's been installed.
Yeah, and that's nice because it now gives you light in the harder dark rooms because we're gonna have to do the dark rooms of Pod and the dark rooms of Agatower.
Yeah, it gives us our fire source for Tower of Hera, so now that is completable, seeing as we're up here already. In the event that we needed the fire for big key reasons.
I don't know if we saw what was in Bumper Cave. Did either of the runners check that?
I feel like they must have run past it at some point, but I feel like we would have noticed if it was something. I hope it's nothing. I didn't see anything if there was. So, I don't know.
Yeah, someone in chat probably would have said something.
Yeah, I think so. So it's probably nothing. And there's our bow. Good job. Into Tower of Hera here. Looks good. Makes sense.
Okay, so Hera's full clearable, Eastern's full clearable, Myers full clearable, Pod is full clearable. And Hera wasn't
Yeah,
even firelocked.
perfect. Yeah, our runners have like a fair bit to do for the next little while. Misery Mire is now, yeah, in logic as well, right? Okay. Yeah, there's a lot on the table. So because this is all dungeons, we're probably going to see our runners clear out a bunch of dungeons that they can take care of right now. You know, you're 53 minutes in, and you've only got 2 down so far. You're definitely thinking that you got to start picking up the pace and clear out a couple more.
Yeah, all they really need at this point is the book for Desert and the fire rod for TR and finishing Skullwoods, and either the fire rod or Bombos to do ice.
Okay, so it looks like Moldorm has our item that we're looking for. Really timely hint there.
Unless it's in the
Giving
basement.
that was actually the hint that we just saw there here in Hera was that the basement is just cash.
Oh, sorry, I missed the hint.
No problem. Now, one thing I'm wondering about, did prdwong skip out on left side swamp? I'm wondering if thalane is going to give that a go. Huh. So, was it maybe that there was one dungeon item and one not dungeon item, unique item, possibly being on that left side, and both runners choosing like to not spend the time to check it out. I feel like it's probably a safe play,
Yeah,
but it's one of those like back of the mind kind of things that'll kind of weigh on you.
yeah, statistically speaking, there are only a couple of items that they need, and so many checks now open. They just have to, keep it in the back of their heads in case they can't find the items anywhere else.
Yeah, it just seems like there's too much else on the table right now, which is a good reason to skip out on that one location.
prdwong decided he was done with Death Mountain rather than trying to see what's on Laser Bridge.
Hmm. That's an interesting choice. It's one of those things that, like, if you don't play a lot of inverted seeds, maybe you forget that that's a way to access the back part of Turtle Rock there. Who knows? Thalane might give it a go. We'll see.
I mean, yes, Laser Bridge is annoying, though they do have the Cane of Burner, which I believe works on Laser Bridge because there's no mirror shield, and you have to have some logical way of being able to do Laser Bridge if you're not skilled enough to outrun the lasers.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's 4 reasonably quick checks there, and you can work your way up in Turtle Rock 2 to do some more checks on the upper levels, but if nothing else, it's 4 pretty quick checks.
Yeah, and I mean, if like Fire Rod is hanging out on Laser Bridge there, then you could theoretically be done with Turtle Rock in no time there. But there are a lot of items here in Palace of Darkness, so prdwong definitely playing the odds here, hoping to find something that'll keep him moving forward here.
But at least 3 of the items, and possibly all 5, have to be in the back. Well, we know the pyramid's out.
Yes, we can confirm that at this point, yeah. I mean, Purdy also might be just thinking that he wants the boots, which we think are hanging out on Helmasaur.
Either the boots are hanging out on Helmasaur or the hint system's broken.
Yeah. So Thalane is giving us some Turtle Rock action here, choosing to step in at the big chest there because he had already grabbed the big key from the first chest in the front part of the dungeon.
Yeah, the crazy thing about Turtle Rock in Inverted is the locations of the keys can really be mixed up, and what order you go through the dungeon in can really be determined by the locations of those keys.
Alright, so prdwong is loaded up on small keys and is heading deeper into Palace of Darkness. Meanwhile, we're getting Thalane getting much closer to the laser bridge here. We're gonna find out soon enough. Oh, it takes a death. Ugh.
And I was getting so excited that someone was finally gonna check Laser Bridge.
Nope, gotta wait a little.
Yeah, unfortunately from this position, it's probably easier to just go back through TR from here. Oh, he's actually backtracking and checking the upper level instead of going back to Laser Bridge. And yeah, there was a little magic rod back there a little bit. I think it might be useful to the runners.
Huh, yeah. So that is working out pretty nicely for prdwong there. It's making all the right plays today. Thalane is not going to find the item he needs to finish this dungeon off, but he is going to explore every inch of it here. Purdy also coming across the silver arrows, which are going to be required for the Ganon fight at the end.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that, and of course it shows up before I could even say anything. And so, really, prdwong is a book away from go mode because we know he's going to get the boots on Helmasaur.
Yeah, this gives him like a lot of places to check. Everything pretty much is open to him.
Oh, chap pointing out that prdwong has not been to the pyramid to pick up ether.
And that is a tough spot. It's not really ever that convenient to route it in, so it'll be interesting to see when he actually gets back over there.
Okay, so I'm hoping, just because I've now gotten so obsessed with Laser Bridge, I'm hoping Thalane comes back around and does Laser Bridge now, or I'm just going to be whining about it for the next half hour.
You know, I don't know if he's going to go back in. I think he's going to head over to Hera now.
Well, he needs to come back up anyway, but...
All right, he's
okay.
doing it. Okay. Really nice skips here. Oh, the last one gets him. Ugh.
But at least now he can just save and continue from the entrance.
Yeah, he was really looking for that fire rod, I think. Unfortunately, it was not.
But unfortunately, we know Pod is the play for that. Meanwhile, prdwong doing a great job with Helmasaur. I mean, other than the silver arrows not working in expert mode, it's basically the same fight you'd do in vanilla. Or in normal mode, I should say.
Yeah, looks pretty good. Picks up those boots, which are a nice find. Helps to make things a little bit faster. Gives us King's Tomb and Bonkrox as well.
Chat is reminding us that, yeah, because Desert is pendant, the book could be in GT. That would be evil.
It would be kind of evil, but on the other hand, I mean, do you start go-moding dungeons to get into GT and assume that it might be there? Hmm?
Though GT is still mostly padded with junk just so that it can't hold too many useful
Yes.
items.
That is true.
Do you happen to remember how many of the chests are guaranteed to be junk?
I do not know.
I mean, there are 27 chests, and 7 of them are dungeon items, so that leaves 20 items. I have to imagine 14 or 15 of them are, like, guaranteed junk, but I haven't checked lately.
Yeah.
Thalane's picking up his bow now.
Alrighty, so pretty Wong, just one more room here before heading into the Armos Knights, which I think are holding an item, so it could be the book. Ooh, quick kill, kind of getting away from Purdy Wong there, unfortunately. Making for a little bit of a messier Armos Knights fight.
Fortunately, he was full on arrows. Unfortunately, just another red rupee.
So the search for the book continues.
So what do you think, Mire or Ice? Oh, he's going back up Death Mountain, I guess. He can now full clear Turtle Rock, so he'll probably do that.
If only he had that. I guess he can try to. He can access it from the back side. I was going to say yes, he's got to go in the front, but well, no, he doesn't have to go in through the front. It's just going to take him a little bit longer to get that big key. And yes, Signal C in chat there pointing out that because Pretty Wong doesn't have the Ether Medallion, he actually cannot get into Misery Mire at this time.
I keep forgetting that because Thalane got his so early. And likewise, Pretty Wong can't do TR from the front. And it's kind of funny because Pretty Wong has a lead at the moment in terms of dungeons completed. But if he's spending all day to get that Ether Medallion, he could easily fall behind.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. It's looking pretty good for him at this point, but, you know, it's the nature of Rando. Does he get over to the Pyramid Ledge to check that spot? Okay, this is a pretty good routing choice here from Thalane. Seeing as Aga Tower is in a little bit of a goofy spot, being in Ganon's Tower, after finishing Tower of Hera here, he's gone right into Aga Tower to finish it off as well. Seeing as it's all dungeons, you have to do this at some point.
And that'll give him a warp to the top of Hyrule Castle, too, and open up a portal from the base of Pyramid to Hyrule Castle. Or actually, where exactly does that portal open up? Now I'm trying to remember.
I think it's like right in front of Aga Tower proper, what is now in this mode Ganon's Tower.
Okay. It also allows you to save and quit to that location since he has the mirror. Once he's beaten this game's version of Aga Tower, he will be able to save and quit to the Light World.
Yes. Gets an awesome hint there that there's some cash in Eastern Palace. Okay.
I believe Armos had it.
He did, yeah. Or they did.
Now, as we get close to Aga, I guess Thalane was hoping that the boomerang would at least knock the guard into the pit.
Yep, did nothing at all.
But I was about to say, as we get close to Aga, are you one of those people who hopes for a lot of blue balls or a small number of blue balls?
Oh god, none. It's the worst. When you're a runner and you just getting blue balled, it is the worst.
Because I know some people just like to call 15 every time.
That's just mean. Shouldn't be allowed. Not nice.
Elaine showing us some nice bugnet strats because, as I said earlier, it is a bit easier than using the hammer here.
Alrighty, that's one.
prdwong has now finally picked up his big key for Turtle Rock so he can full clear it.
It's going to give us a look at two chests here that Thalane was not able to access. Not having the fire rod when he came into Turtle Rock. He wasn't able to get over to this side. prdwong is going to show us what's up here.
What was that, 4 blue balls now?
Yeah, they keep on coming.
But we just need one more energy ball.
Okay, so a whole lot of nothing on the Firelock side of TR.
And Aga is just cruel today, but assuming Thalane can hit back the next energy ball, he will be out of here at 7 blue balls.
Ugh. That is too many.
And remember that prdwong's gonna have to face the same number because the seed guarantees it. Now, unfortunately, with Swordless, you pretty much have to do a menu fight against Trinex with the hammer. Oh!
Down goes prdwong.
Press F to pay respects.
I mean, the only good thing about this fight here for Purdy is that you always get the magic refill right before going into the fight. So, just try again. Shouldn't be too difficult the next couple times around. Hopefully, it's only one more time for him.
And with so few hearts anyway, it doesn't matter that he's not quite at full health, because he can probably only take about 1 hit.
Yeah.
And that was the 1 hit that he can take.
Yeah, Swordless Trinex is no joke.
Wait, how many hammer hits? Looked like it took 6 hammer hits, and I thought it only took 5.
It should only be 5.
I thought I counted 6, maybe I miscounted.
Yikes, is he gonna use the blue goo? He's probably gonna have to.
Yeah, he definitely has to. Which gives him 2 more Ice Rod shots. Okay, now he just has to get 5 hammer shots to the third, well, to the body, without taking a single hit.
I think he should have it at this point.
There we go. And another fetch quest.
Yo, let's turn that mushroom in.
And an inverted, you can't just flute over there.
Yeah, it's a bit more of an awkward check. Maybe you'll loop that in with that actually might get him over to his ether medallion a little quicker. He'll do that maybe with the do that with the mushroom.
I was just going to say, I would hope not only that, but we can also see what Catfish has.
Yeah, right? Totally.
Meanwhile, Thalane picking up all his keys in the front, and he will be very happy to see what they lead him to in the back. Oh, have we seen Spiral Cave yet?
I don't. I feel like Thalane might have done it, but I cannot.
I think he just fell back down the ledge because he wanted to use the TR entrances.
Huh. Piece of heart.
Yeah, I was going to say not much, and then I realized those pieces of heart are precious in expert mode.
Yeah, totally. Yikes, Thalane living a half-heart life here. Opts to pick up the 3 from in here. Good call.
Now that's interesting that Pretty Wong went to get blue goo there because I would think he would want to do the mushroom check and could just get the blue goo at that point.
Yeah.
But no, he's going for Ice Palace, I'm guessing.
So I guess that potion shop is the closest one that you can access if you're just looking to get potions real quick because you're heading into Ice Palace. Yeah.
Thalane just got his fire rod. And he's about to get his silvers, he'll get the boots on Helmasaur, and then Thalane will truly be book away from Go mode.
Yeah, so then it'll really come down to kind of what order Thalane decides to do some dungeons in. If he keeps following in Pretty Wong's footsteps, he's not going to make up enough ground. But if he goes in a different direction, maybe he goes into Skull Woods right now and clears that out. Maybe those back 2 chests, or the back chest and Mothula have something. Or yeah, another good point there in chat, could do Misery Mire as well.
Another useless hint. Yeah, so basically this will depend on where the book is and how long it takes Pretty Wong to get to the pyramid and get ether.
Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that after Ice Palace here, he might take care of those couple of checks: Pyramid Ledge, Mushroom, and then Catfish. It seems like a good time to go for that.
What's even the best route to Mushroom? Flute to 5 and walk over from there?
Yeah, like I guess so. I feel like he might just swim out from Ice Palace here and kind of go that way to it. But yeah, I think 5 might be the closest one.
I don't think many people have totally figured out how to optimize inverted yet. I sure haven't. Seeing that joke hint reminds me, I thought there were supposed to be a lot more joke hints in Expert, and that was another thing, that fewer useful hints, but we haven't seen that many joke hints so far.
No, that's true. Good point. We have not really seen a whole lot of those.
Thalane doing just as good a job with Helmosaur as Pretty Wong did. Just keep firing the arrows.
Now he's got his boots.
Was that the second item here? Nice.
I think so. Yeah, so just one more kind of kicking around. Thalane's going to take care of Eastern Palace here, and then that's going to be it for him. He's going to start being on the same kind of path as Pretty Wong here. Where is that book?
Yeah, and as chat has already discussed a few times back a ways, the book could be literally anywhere except inside Desert Palace.
Yeah. And as we're kind of getting down in actual checks to be done, the possibility of it being in Ganon's tower seems to be kind of creeping up. I'm feeling like it might actually be in there the more we go on here. We don't have too many dungeons left that have a whole lot of density. There are definitely some overworld things we haven't seen yet, but I don't know. Got a feeling it might be in there.
Oh, and I just realized I should qualify. Of course, book can't be on the tablets either. But I don't think we've seen, like, hammer pegs or blacksmith yet.
No, we have not seen the smith chain at all.
Because they got the powder and hammer so early that they did magic bat their first time through Kakariko, and they had neither the mirror nor the glove at that point to do the blacksmith chain.
Yes. Now, this fight right here is pretty scary. You don't want to take any damage here, and you've got no magic to use. That's why Purdy bought those potions, but still not even 2 fire shots there, and that's all he's got out of that blue potion. And this is always one of the worst time losses if you do fall to Cold Stare here. It takes forever to get back down to the bottom of East Palace here.
Okay, he's gotten one puffball out of the way.
Yeah, you see he's not taking any chances.
There we go. But this is when Swordless really shows how hard Swordless can be, because you can't even back them into the corner with a spin attack like you would in any sort of sworded mode. Even in Expert, normally you could do that with the Master Sword at least.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's a completely different fight when you have to do it swordless, and Purdy did a great job there.
Yeah, looks like he's going to finish Skull Woods, which is the last dungeon he can do now.
Yeah, he's definitely in dungeon clear mode and is just hoping to kind of come across something on his way, basically, instead of having to waste time doing overworld check.
And the nice thing is, in Inverted, prdwong just remembered after going into the Dark Woods that you can actually just walk over to the entrance to the ped area and then mirror, and you don't have to go through the front part of Skullwoods to get to the back.
Yeah, nice little time save there.
Now, I know we got one very important item in the front of Skullwoods. Did we find the other item, or is there still one to be had in the back?
I can't quite remember. I feel like there's still an item in this dungeon.
Why did he just get that second key? Did he not realize he already had one?
Maybe he doesn't want to waste any additional resources on that one Gibdos.
Oh, that could be. And Thalane is going to take on the terrible menu battle with trying. Yeah, prdwong is being really careful with where there are little magic bits here so that he can... And he's even using the lamp, wow. I guess he's going to try to fight Moth with the fire rod.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. You're kind of on a roll, and you realize that you've got a lot of dungeons done already. It's only an hour and a half in. Just play it safe. Don't take any unnecessary deaths. Don't take any risks, and just kind of cruise from here. Hopefully, you come across the book.
And given the spikes in the moving floor, doing a hammer attack on Moth is kind of tough, so I can see why he would want the ranged attack of the fire rod. I think he just needs one more hit with the fire rod. And I was wrong. Oh, that's an awful hitbox on Moth. Unfortunately, hitting Moth into the spikes means he does no damage because the game is just programmed so well.
Oh, that is so rough. I thought he had it there.
Yeah. I felt like now that had to be the last hit, but apparently it wasn't.
Yeah, Moth was getting real aggressive there. Pretty big swings across the arena. So, yeah, just couldn't get that final hit in.
And Thalane is now right on prdwong's tail. He hasn't done Ice Palace yet. But on the other hand, he does have Ether, so he can go straight into Meyer after this, assuming he has less trouble with Moth than Wong did. Now, he's being more free with his magic, so I wonder if he's just planning a hammer fight from the outset.
Yeah, I think we're looking at that for Thalane here.
Yeah, he's not even bothering getting the magic refill in the room above Moth.
But going for the arrows instead, which is interesting.
Who will finish off the troll first?
Ooh, I really like Thalane's strategy there. It looks like he was taking like damage boosts from the spikes to get in close to Mothula and make those hits. And it worked out really well for him.
Wong just takes another death.
Yikes. He's still got a bit of a lead here, so it's not the end of the world yet, but it's rough to take a couple of deaths here.
Well, that was a nice second item find there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just at the time he needed it.
Alrighty, so our runners have kind of traded dungeons here, with Purdy doing ice first and then hitting into Skull, Thalane doing the opposite. Oh. This is kind of going from bad to worse for prdwong here. He has got to get through this dungeon. He's he's sticking to it, so good for him. A little bit of tilt probably factoring in at this point. Yeah, and definitely shout out to Thalane there with that bomb strat in the Pengator room. Really nice looking. Gibdo's playing along a little nicer this time around, thankfully for Purd here. Alrighty, so he's going into this battle this time with full health and quite a lot of magic. This has got to be the time.
Yeah, he nicely got in 3 fire rod shots before the spike started moving, so that's a really good start. Using B strats on Moth, I haven't seen that in a while,
Nice.
but it's surprisingly effective.
Yes, it was the B.
4th time's the charm. And he even retrieves his B. That's awesome. So prdwong has lost a lot of his lead, but he still has a moderate lead since the lane's going to be in ice for a bit longer. The question is, will he finally make those checks of pyramid, mushroom, and catfish?
Yeah, it's really coming down to that at this point. We have not seen that book turn up at all, so he's got to find something to keep himself busy, and picking up that ether medallion is going to be pretty key here. Doing some boots checks here.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen King's Tomb either, so hopefully this will then lead him around to check the mushroom and then hopefully pyramid and get that ether. Boots checks are just busts.
All right, so now we're getting that mushroom turn in, and then we'll likely see catfish after this, unless the mushroom has the book.
Well, even then, he still needs to find ether somewhere, so I would hope that,
Oh yeah,
he does catfish.
right. Between the two of us, we really do keep forgetting that he doesn't have ether medallion. He really needs that.
Yes, and chat likes to remind us of that.
Yeah, that's fun. Single arrow. That is disheartening.
And he hasn't checked Zora yet, so I think he's also gonna get his life lesson while he's up here.
Already, Thalane is in the cold stare fight here.
And there went Wong's last chance to maintain his lead. Like, if Catfish had had the book, it could have been a while before Thalane made it up there, but now prdwong's gonna check Zora, and even if he then does track back to the pyramid, I think Thalane will be in mire first.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely Thalane's next course of action. He's not going to do any other checks, I don't think. I think he's going to go for mire right away.
And prdwong has now orphaned the pyramid.
Unless he heads over there. Oh, he's got the flute going. Uh-oh. No, not good.
I was thinking, unless maybe if he did Agate Tower, he could then just mirror to the top of the pyramid after finishing it. But no. Oh, he's probably gonna do the Smith quest now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Thalane's got a bit of a nail biter going on here. One heart left with one puff to. Manages to take him down.
So, for the first time in a long time, our runners are now tied on dungeon completion.
So, I mean, the best thing that can come of some of these checks that Purdy's doing here is the book turns up. Because these are checks that Thalane is not likely to do right now. He's going for Meyer. That'll be his 7th crystal. He's going to go up to GT and look for the book. So if Purdy can find the book in this Smith chain here, which is there isn't too much left in that, we know that the purple chest is a bust. That might help him out.
And Thalane's not even doing the bird throw for us.
Oh.
On the plus side, prdwong just got back the money he wasted on Zora, or most of it. Oof.
Alrighty, so Purdy remembers the hint that purple chest is nothing. So now what does he do? He's flew into 4. This is good. This is good. Get over to... Nope, wrong way.
What could he be checking here? Well, one of the 2 items in Meyer is a bust, too.
I guess, are we seeing Agina? I don't think... did he not check this spot a little earlier?
Yeah, I thought they both checked checkerboard, and it would be odd to orphan Agina after checking checkerboard. But he hasn't checked it.
Ugh.
Okay, Death Mountain now. So, maybe, just maybe, he will beat Aga Tower, which will put him on top of Hyrule Castle. He can mirror to the pyramid and get his ether. Oh, and that's actually another reason Thalane has the lead now, because he's already done Aga Tower. Or is he gonna do Spike Cave? He's doing...
Yeah. That's happening.
Again, if the book is here, he can reclaim his lead, otherwise he's just gonna fall farther behind. Nerp.
Mm-mm. Alrighty, so it looks like we are getting the Aga Tower play. There's nothing else up here on the mountain for prdwong, so this is what he's doing, which is good. And as you say, likely to then mirror and check out the pyramid spot after that. Meanwhile, Thalane's been kind of plugging away here in Misery Mire, has not found the book either, so looking very likely that it is in Ganon's tower today. I mean, both runners, as Chad is pointing out, both runners did abandon left side swamp. So that would be the worst if it turns out that the book was hanging out on that left side.
That would be some serious irony considering that was an hour ago.
Yeah, and coming across that at this point in the race, both runners are going to feel like they are a million miles behind. As it stands now, they're both making pretty good pace. With the number of anti-fairies available in Misery Mire, Thalane's actually been making use of the powder here to gain back the small amount of hearts that he does have. Heading into the Vitreous fight with 7 hearts total, not a lot of fun.
And using wooden arrow strats. 3 hits per small eyeball.
Okay, so that might explain the arrow pickup that we saw in Skull Woods way back. He was thinking long term and thought, I'm going to need more arrows for this Vitreous fight.
Well, he doesn't have enough to finish off all the eyeballs. And prdwong. Unfortunately, at this point, just falling farther behind.
Yeah, these deaths are starting to really add up here. Oh, and Thalane as well, also getting tagged here.
And that is a fairly long walk to get back to Vitreous.
Yep. Cold Stare and then Vitreous are the 2 worst bosses, I think, to die to. It just feels the worst.
Well, Trinex is bad if you didn't happen to take the emergency exit at Laser Bridge.
Yes, that is true.
And I've seen runners do that, die to Trinex after not taking the emergency exit.
Yeah, good point. In chat here, this second time around for Thalane is going to be more difficult. He does not have enough arrows to get through the fight. He's going to want to keep those 8 for Vitreous most likely, and just try and get through the fight with the hammer. Maybe throw a couple bombs as well.
And without a sword, cape strats are right out. Though even with a sword in expert mode, the cape would drain incredibly fast. I believe it drains 3 times normal magic usage rate in expert.
It does. It is dang fast. You could possibly, if you kind of like rapidly swing your sword, you can kind of lessen the speed, but it would still definitely drain very quickly. So we're gonna get a good look at how Thalane chooses to adapt to conditions here without the arrows in hand. What's his strategy?
And on the other side, prdwong will now get to enjoy 7 blue balls. Minimum.
So we're seeing a much slower hammer strat fight here from Thalane.
And Wong missed the first energy ball from Aga, so he may even get more blue balls now.
So Thalane kind of realizing here that if I take another death, it's really going to start to add up. These minutes are time that you just can't get back. So just trying to do everything he can to avoid these eyeballs. He can't take another hit, unfortunately.
Did he buy any potions? I didn't even see.
I don't think he has anything at his disposal.
Though a blue or red potion would only give him a single heart back anyway.
Would be enough maybe to take a hit from an eyeball, but that would be about it. Really picking his moments here to make sure that he doesn't put himself in a spot to get kind of tagged.
Slow and steady wins the race, as they say.
Awesome
And now
job.
he has exactly enough arrows to finish off the big eyeball.
Wow. Nice work, Thalane. That was pretty clutch.
Oh, and that is the Lane's 7th crystal. I believe there's a game we like to play around now.
Yeah, assuming that he does head towards Ganon's Tower, which is I think what he's going to do. Yeah, I think there is actually a bot here in the ALTTPR channels as well, which you have started already. So let's get some guesses in. 22 chests in the basement of Ganon's Tower. We're looking for the big key. Where could it possibly be? Drosy, what do you think, man?
Well, I'm doing 10, which I finally got in before someone could steal it out from under me, because the last time that happened... Oh, and Pretty Wong is finally finding Ether.
Oh, dang, we gotta stop the game already.
Wow, that was
Really quick.
fast. But yeah, what about you?
No, I'm thinking 12. 12. I don't know why, but 12. Oh, wow, and Tilebot Room is telling us that 14 points will be awarded to the winner. So that's what's at stake, folks. 14 points. That is crazy.
I was busy stopping the game, so I didn't see. I assumed there was nothing on Bob's torch.
That was the come.
So Thalane's just doing full right? Full left, sorry.
Yes, he is. Did not check anything on the right yet. I'm wondering if he's going to go to Rando Room and then mirror out and go full right after that.
Well, at least he's not doing Dark Magician. I groan whenever someone does Dark Magician.
Yeah, because we're still looking for the book as well. We're not only looking for the GT big key, we also want to find that Book of Medora.
So we're up to 7 chests now.
Yes.
This also means we may get to see one of those very rare checks of the GT big chest once we do find the key.
Yeah, I don't see why not. It would make a lot of sense to make sure you clear this place out before you head out.
Well, there went my 10. And given how he's going, your 12's going to be Bob's chest.
Yeah, looks like it. Nice job picking up the 5 arrows from that little pot there.
Yeah, since silvers aren't allowed an expert before Ganon, you need at least 8 wooden arrows to get upstairs. Bye, Bob.
It's not that chest.
And he did not want to fight Ice Armos.
Nope.
In part because he doesn't have enough arrows and we'd probably be seeing boomerang strats.
Well, now he's got enough. He picked up some in that chest there, so... Oh boy, so we're going right side here. We'll see all the way through, and then we'll see Ice Starmos, I imagine, after that. Man, where is this book? Where's the big key? Where's everything?
So 15 through 18 are going to be in here, and then presumably 19 through 21 after Ice Armos and leaving Tile Room for last. Though it would have been interesting if he'd gone for Tile Room here.
Yeah.
Well, he got his 8th heart container.
Yeah, normally a lot of runners will just scoff at heart pieces there, but no, an expert definitely going to be happy to see those. Nice use of the bomb there to kind of blast forward through the fire bar. Unfortunately, getting body checked by jellyfish there.
Interesting bonk over the fire snake.
Yeah, gotta save those hearts.
Now we'll see what sorts of strats Pretty Wong is going to... Oh, he's going for bomb strats on Biddy.
Yeah, weaken the eyeballs first, and then maybe go in with the arrows after that.
Yeah, he doesn't have very many bombs, so he's going to have to use something else. And we have Armos on ice.
Well, so far, Thalane not having a lot of fun with this fight.
Good thing he fully stocked up on arrows. $19 vanilla big key.
So all that's left is the book.
Congratulations to our tracker, Nif Boy. You have won 14 points.
Alrighty, so Thalane is skipping out on Tile Room for now. I mean, given that Ganon's tower is basically right where the drop is to get into the Ganon fight, on the off chance that we don't find the book, he might opt to do Tile Room at that point, at the end of Ganon's tower. So it was a pretty lengthy basement, but we do see, prdwong here hanging out in GT with us as well. So, he's, still got a little bit of ground to make up, but he's not all that far behind.
So since I was busy ending the big key game, did Thalane check the big chest before he went upstairs?
Yes, he did. It
Okay,
was
so
not the book.
well, I figured if he checked it and it was the book, you would have said something.
I probably would have screamed or something, yes. Alrighty, Thalane in the gauntlet now. Looking pretty good, making use of the pots here, which is a pretty good strategy, I think.
So what haven't we checked? There are 4 chests upstairs, there's Tile Room, and there's West Side Swamp. Is there anything else that neither of the runners has checked?
I don't think I don't think there's anything. Someone must have turned in the green pendant. I feel like that must have happened.
I thought we got a hint about the green pendant and we know it's worthless.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense then. I mean, almost at this point, Left Side Swamp would be, like, kind of funny.
Well, we decided there's only 1 item over there, so I guess 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah, because, I mean, between these 2 runners, they have definitely cleared out everything. Besides the couple of locations that we've already kind of talked about.
And the lane is now past Landmo, so we're gonna get... Oh, he needs magic, though, because he's gonna be in those lamp rooms pretty soon, and it's nice if you have enough magic to use the cane to get past the 2 Wizrobe rooms.
Yeah, just gotta take it slow in some of these rooms here. It's not a lot of fun to have to reclimb Ganon's tower, so definitely playing it safe. Should have enough magic to get through this room here with the 2 pots available.
So prdwong does have enough arrows to take on Ice Armor, so he'll... Well, depends what he decides to do about searching for the book now, because if he ignores the rest of GT Basement, he can make up some time.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
If he searches for the book, though, he'll just lose the time he just gained.
Wow, I can't believe we still haven't found it.
4 more chests. Well, technically 5, but we know one of the 2 in Left Side Swamp is a dungeon item. Oh!
Wow. There it is.
And at 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 45 seconds, the lane is in go mode.
So he's got enough hearts here. He's looking like he's in pretty good shape for the Aga 2 fight. In Expert, nothing's a given. But, with this many hearts, he's in pretty good shape to make quick work of that fight.
But taking Moldorm's chest was a good safety just in case. If, heaven forfend, he should lose to Aga 2, he can skip Moldorm 2 on the way back up.
Right. So yeah, Purdy's taking the gamble here that he's got to climb the tower, and it is going to work out for him. So he is going to shave off some of Thalane's lead here, and even though
What
we've only got
did... I'm just trying to figure out why he fell into that pit for no reason. That's all.
to dash past the cannonballs a little faster, maybe.
Oh yeah, I guess to have invincibility, that's just really risky when you're down to 2 hearts and just lost one of them.
Yeah.
And
But
Thalane makes really quick work of Agatu with the bug net.
yep, down to 2 hearts, so it was a little bit of a tricky fight, even with the bug net in hand there, probably because of the bug net. He's got Desert Palace ahead of him, and then the Ganon fight. It looks like he's got a pretty decent lead at this point, but Swordless Ganon is still no fun. It's definitely not over yet.
Yeah, it's really easy to take a Ganon Death here, forget even Ganon Falls, but Swordless Expert Ganon, a Ganon Death is really easy. And just for the lulz, it's worth noting that if Thalane had tried to fight Ganon right there without going to Desert, Ganon would have called him a dingus.
Fortunately, prdwong here getting kind of roughed up by Lamb Molus. 2 hearts left, ran out of magic. It's going to be a tricky fight to get through here. Gotta be careful.
Oh, half a heart.
Yeah, this is... Oh, he's used a potion, so he's got a heart and a half.
But that
And
also
more
gives him
importantly,
enough...
the fire rod.
Yeah. I was just about to say enough magic to use the fire rod again. And the lovely room that has one of everything.
Normally a room that you see a lot of runners just kind of zip right through, but on an expert seed, swordless, you're going to pick up everything you can. prdwong get a nice little magic drop there. Should make his torch room a little bit easier, a little more free.
And Thalane now heading into Landmo 1 with enough magic if he doesn't miss a shot to just take them down with the fire rod. And that was an excellent Landmo fight.
Yeah, very nice. Alrighty, so that's going to be it for dungeons. Thalane is heading over to Ganon, taking on the pig.
And remembering that he can just save and quit to Ganon. And prdwong picking up his book.
Alrighty, so Thalane with 8 hearts here. Well, not if he had a full bar, he'd have 8 hearts. He cannot take a single Ganon hug, so he's got to keep his distance. But with that hammer, you got to get pretty darn close to Ganon to actually get those to count.
And I think he can take exactly 1 fire bat hit. It didn't even matter because that's 4 hearts, so whether he comes in with 5 or he comes in with 8, it's 1 fire bat hit, and after that he's toast. But he is on to stage 3. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Wow, you don't want to take a death at the top of Ganon's tower. That's so rough. Meanwhile, Thalane's on a phase 4 here, knocking a couple of silver arrows into Ganon there. Just gonna need 1 more after this.
Unfortunately, he misses that one. He did, however, get the torch glitch, so that makes it a bit easier.
And there we go.
I was about to say exactly the same thing.
The exact same words, yeah, right?
So GG's in chat.
And that's Thalane finishing in a time of 2:12:38. That's really nice for all dungeons, swordless, expert. Like, excellent. Excellent work, man.
So let's see if we can get him in here shortly. Ah, there he is. GG.
Hey, GG's.
So, take us through that, and what do you think? I don't know if you've had a chance to discuss it with prdwong, but what do you think were the key things that put you ahead in the end?
I have no idea. To be honest, we didn't talk very much. Maybe like 2 sentences. So I have no idea. I just felt really bad dying to Vitreous. That's all. I think the rest went pretty okay.
Yeah, so one of the key things was you checking Pyramid early and finding that ether, because he went on quite the wild goose chase in the end to find it.
Yeah, early on in the seed, it was actually prdwong who was ahead. Everything kind of worked out. He made the swamp play a little bit before you did. And so dungeon count, he was up on you for quite a while. But then, as you know, with you having the ether medallion in hand, you were able to kind of keep moving, and he kind of got stuck there.
Okay, I see.
And you took 1 Vitreous death, but he took 3 Mothula deaths, so...
Yeah, I guess that that evens it out a little.
Yeah. And he's now taken a death in GT, but I think if he had either gotten Ether sooner or hadn't taken all those Mothula deaths, it would have been a really close race. And if he had both gotten Ether sooner and not taken the Mothula deaths, he probably would have won. So GG on getting that Ether early. That was really one of the key things.
Thanks.
So was it kind of annoying to have to like triple dip Turtle Rock there? You had to go in a couple of times there, and then Fire Rod being in Palace of Darkness, kind of annoying.
Not really, because I mean it's inverted, and Death Mountain is always interesting. I'd say you have to climb the mountain like 5 times anyway, so I honestly don't care too much about that.
Nice.
But yeah, that death when I tried to go from the big chest towards Laser Bridge to check these chests and then mirror out, and then go to the front, because I was kind of hoping Fire Rod would be in there, but yeah, I died like, where did I die again? Like somewhere along the way on that laser bridge before the actual laser bridge, I think. So there was.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Helmosaur, I think.
Yeah,
Or
because
maybe
I
it was one
didn't.
of the lasers.
Nah, like I didn't know how to deal with the Helmosaur, so you can't stun him with the hook shot or kill him. I didn't have bow yet to, shoot an arrow, so it was kind of awkward. And then I didn't I didn't really know what to do, and then the eye sniped me, and I fell off and got sniped again.
Yeah, these settings were so you being the higher seed, you chose these ones. Do you kind of regret it, or was it fun? What did you think about it?
I just wanted to kind of redeem myself, because I played the same settings except hard instead of expert against Kern for like one of my last group matches. So I definitely wanted to like do it better this time around, and I think it worked, because the other time was like 2 hours and 40 minutes or something, and I died a lot. And this seed was actually kind of friendly in my opinion, with the light world access quite early, so you didn't have to do like 3 hard blind or ice palace and all that stuff. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
your take on?
pretty good.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
I was just going to ask what's your take on expert versus hard now that you've done a tournament game with the same settings, just expert instead of hard.
I personally prefer hard more, and not really because of the armor or anything. It's really just the hookshot stun. That's not cool in my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't even think about. Go ahead.
Over each other here. Yeah. I was just gonna congratulate you on the time, thalane. I thought that 212 is pretty solid for all dungeons, swordless experts. So I just wanted to give you a little props for that one.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, even all dungeons normal expert would probably be pretty close to 2 hours, so that swordless inverted, you only took a little over 2 hours is pretty impressive.
I just hope that prdwong also had like at least a little bit of fun. I mean, obviously there's always some sort of frustration in these kind of modes, in my opinion, but I like at the end of the day I kind of enjoy all the wacky stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to, you got to go into it knowing that it's going to be a little bit goofy. You're going to die a couple of times. So, yeah.
I was just going to say it's sure been a good lesson for us on a whole different set of strats. I hope you've enjoyed, learning how to adjust your strats accordingly.
Yeah, and I'm happy that I actually got myself to play one of these seeds earlier today, and like came very little bit prepared into this, so that was pretty good.
I think this is the part where prdwong forfeits. He just took an Aga2 death, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can only climb GT so many times before you're just kind of done. Let's see if we'll get him in for a chat here. Hopefully he'll had enough time since this is wrapped up a little while ago. He'll be able to feel a little better about where he's at. Or is he climbing again? Oh my. Maybe not.
He's being indecisive?
All right, we're heading over to Village of Outcasts.
Buying potions? I mean, if the runners had a chance to exchange a few words, Pretty Wong can't have gone too much longer because he can't have gone more than about 15 minutes more than Thalane.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to wait and see here, I guess.
I'm also noticing Thalane's collection rate, given that it looked like they checked just about everything. I'm surprised it's only 177.
Oh, I still have like a couple of green spots left on my map. About like 10 or something.
Oh yeah, I guess you didn't do the Smith chain. That was one of the ways Pretty Wong lost time when he didn't have the Ether Medallion. Where is he going now?
Looks like some people in chat are thinking that he might give us some glitches here, so maybe just doing something for the lulz. Well, we'll follow Pretty Wong on his little adventure here, see where he's heading.
Yeah. Nifboy is confirming that he did indeed officially forfeit.
Okay, and it looks like we see Pretty Wong here hanging out in our waiting room. So let's get him in for a chat while we watch what's going to be going on screen. Yo, Pretty Wong, GG's man, kind of a rough match.
Yeah, GG Thalane. I think
Oh, GG, dude.
I think I've sufficiently embarrassed myself.
Nah, man, you were doing an excellent job. You know, just kind of you could see the tilt kind of creeping in a little bit towards the end there, and I mean, unfortunate. You know, GT deaths are the worst, and then you know, just not really much you could do at that point. But I don't know. What did you think of that? Those settings and
yeah, I did feel like early on I was doing pretty good, and then when I made the swamp play, I was like, okay, this is working out for me. I did make a really big mistake though. I told myself after I finished Turtle Rock that I should just head straight over to Agate because it's right there, and I needed to do it anyways. But I forgot, and I went somewhere else. If I had done Agate Tower at that time, then I would have just checked Pyramid right away because I was there, and then that might have turned out differently.
yeah.
Yeah. Thalane actually did do Agate Tower right at that point, though he had even checked Pyramid earlier.
But yeah, that definitely would have given you kind of got you back on track if you had gone and checked that spot. Meanwhile, it looks like you pulled off some excellent glitch work here. What are we seeing here? What did you do?
I just wanted to get my revenge on Aga. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a long shot for me to pull this off, anyways. I tried some seeds before, and I think I did realize that GT. I'm a little bit shaky on GT, and so probably should have put a little bit more practice into that. But it's all right.
Yeah, it's
well,
it's you know, it's definitely tough in expert for sure. I mean, in any mode, I guess, but when you're really low on all that stuff that you usually have, it makes sense that it's even more difficult and something you should practice a little bit more. But I mean, man, all told, you're doing a great job. I mean, you were ahead in dungeon count for the longest time. So I mean, don't beat yourself up about it too much.
Yeah,
No,
I
that's
was just gonna say that early swamp play was really key. You opened up a huge lead at that point. You were like a solid 2 dungeons ahead of Thalane at that point.
all right. I'll take a quarter of a win, I guess. Then.
Yeah, unfortunately, even before GT, it was all those moth deaths and then the ether medallion search that kind of did it for you.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely had that feeling that when I couldn't find ether, I was like, "Yep, this is it's taking a turn for the worse."
Yeah, well, that's rando, I guess. You guys, you got game 2 on the schedule yet, or not quite determined?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do it on Thursday or something like that. I don't quite remember. We'll
Yeah,
have to work it out.
sometime next week, because I'm like super busy this weekend and got work at like Monday and Tuesday. So
Cool.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
we'll
see
definitely be
anything.
looking forward to.
Oh, I was just checking. I don't see anything that you guys have posted yet on the schedule, but yeah, look forward to seeing when it is.
It's been kind of a long seed here, and we've kind of discussed most things. But is there any kind of final comments you guys have for this one?
no, I just hope you had a little bit of fun as well, and GG's. I guess that's all I have.
Yeah, GG. I always have fun playing seeds. It's always fun, and it's not. I mean, I don't have any expectations on this tournament. I already made it way further than I think I have any right to be.
Yeah, I think coming to top 32 is like nobody can expect more than that, because everyone in this bracket is like insanely good. So you can lose at any point. It's ridiculous.
And you have bragging rights as the only person who won a tiebreaker to get here.
I guess so. Yeah, I told them that should count as an extra win for my seeding, but I got denied. So here I am with Thalane.
Alrighty, so I guess it's gonna do it for this one here. GG's to both of our runners. If you aren't following them yet, you definitely should. They're excellent. And thanks to our ALTTPR crew here today. We had Sinak doing the restream duties and Nif Boy taking care of tracking. Awesome job, man. And big shout out to my co-com, Jurassic1. It was great to call a race with you again, man.
Yeah, and likewise, I really enjoyed this too, and thank you a lot.
Alrighty, well, I guess that's gonna do it for this one. There is still more randomizer action. Not sure there's anything else tonight, but tomorrow we got a couple of matches on the schedule. Drossi, you got that pulled up at the moment?
Yeah, I don't see anything on the schedule for tomorrow. Our next scheduled match at this point is not until 1:30 on Saturday afternoon. We have Jet 082 versus Asazas, and of course, that far in advance, we have no idea what channel it's going to be on. It is always possible that some runners at the last minute declare something for tomorrow, but it looks like right now, tomorrow's an off day for the tournament, and stay tuned. We currently have 3 matches scheduled for Saturday and 4 for Sunday. Might get more. So it's going to be a pretty busy weekend one way or another.
Cool. Well, that's gonna do it for us then. So for everyone here at the ALTTPR community, I've been Sabotender, joined by Jurassic1, and wishing you guys a good night. Take